Hello guys, today we're gonna make pumpkin cinnamon rolls. Now I have made cinnamon rolls many times. I've sold them in the past. I make them every year, a couple times a year for family events, but I had never tried pumpkin cinnamon rolls. These are also dairy-free and egg-free. And I found this recipe online and I was testing it out and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna share this with you guys because I think you would want to make it too. It's very fall friendly, autumn friendly. It has those flavors like pumpkin pie spice and pumpkin puree and all that good stuff in it. So I thought I'm gonna do it on this channel because I haven't made a cinnamon roll recipe on this channel yet. I haven't posted one. And I have a few that I'm gonna actually post, but this one I thought I got inspired by this blog post, this recipe on Banana Diaries, and they're called the best ever vegan pumpkin cinnamon rolls. And so I gave them a try. I've tested them different ways and I thought, oh, I gotta share this recipe with you guys. So we're gonna make pumpkin cinnamon rolls. Very few ingredients. Even if you've never used yeast before, we're gonna try to make this simple for you. I made a few tweaks to the original recipe, so I will put everything down in the description box below. Look there for the recipe. And so guys, today we're gonna add some spice to your life. Add some spice to your life. Pumpkin pie spice, okay. Guys, so let's get started on our pumpkin cinnamon rolls. They're gonna be so good. So I have everything laid out here. The first thing that we're gonna do is I have my yeast mixture, and as you can see, it has developed quite well. So we're just going to put that in here. So this is just warm milk, yeast, and a little bit of sweetener. Mix it up together and set it aside until the mixture becomes you know, kind of lumpy and foamy on the top, and then you're set and your yeast is active. But if the mixture just stays the same and it doesn't really do anything and it just has bubbles, then your yeast is probably not active and you need to replace it, throw out the mixture and get some fresh yeast and do it again. So in our bowl we have some dairy-free milk, our yeast, okay, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna add some melted butter of choice. You can use dairy-free butter, you can use organic butter. It's totally up to you. It's your kitchen, your rules. Then we have our pumpkin puree. I use organic pumpkin puree. And get a good kind, you know, not a kind that's very liquidy and stuff. Just get a nice kind. And then I always like to, I'm gonna go ahead and add some sugar. This is coconut sugar. We're using coconut sugar in this recipe to make this a bit healthier. But let me go ahead and mix this mixture up here first. Mix together the pumpkin, the milk, the butter. So yeah, you can actually use coconut milk throughout this, coconut sugar throughout this whole recipe if you want it, and you could totally do this, you know, with just coconut sugar. So coconut sugar has like a caramel taste. We're going to just use it in the dough, but in the filling, we're gonna use a little bit of maple sugar. So into our bowl, coconut sugar, mix that together. Then we're gonna add in some vanilla. I've got some vanilla bean paste, but you can use vanilla extract, whatever you have works. There's not much left in here, so there we go, got a nice big glob in there. All right, now for the dry ingredients. We have our flour, and this, just a little bit of information about the flour. I'm using unbleached all-purpose flour. Now, I have tried these with bread flour, that works, but you can also, if you want to do these a little healthier, you can use flour. I would suggest you use 1 cup of whole white wheat flour, 1 cup of the plain unbleached all-purpose flour. So if you wanted to make these healthier, I would split it in half and use like a cup and a tablespoon or 2 of each of these, all right? If you wanted to make this healthier. But for today's demonstration, we're just going to use all-purpose unbleached flour. And that's what I have in my cup, and we're not gonna need it all right now. You're just gonna need some of it. You're not gonna need all of it right now. So I'm just gonna pour it in thirds until we get a dough. And then you're gonna use the rest to roll out the dough. And last but not least, we're also gonna use pumpkin pie spice. Add some spice to your life. That is the motto of this video, guys. And we're using pumpkin pie spice to add some spice to our life, guys. Because, you know, life always needs a little bit of spice. So we're just gonna sprinkle that in here. All right. And then we're just gonna mix this together and continue to add in flour until we get a dough. And then once we get a dough, then we're just gonna turn it out onto the surface and knead our dough. Guys, I forgot to add the aquafaba. This is just 2 tablespoons of the juice of garbanzo beans. And this is just gonna make the dough a little bit more fluffier. So it's still semi-wet, so I can go ahead and add it in now. And I just replaced 2 tablespoons of the milk with aquafaba. And it's just, I feel like it just makes the dough a little bit fluffier and lighter as if we used an egg. Because traditionally when I make cinnamon rolls, which I do quite often throughout the year for family and events, I use an egg in my dough and it just makes it super soft. So if you don't want to use an egg, I've found that you can use aquafaba as a good replacement if you don't eat eggs or if you're cutting back or if you're vegan, whatever. And it just makes the dough, you know, it kind of emulates the egg a little bit. Not completely, but to a good degree. Do that. Okay, so see how our dough is looking now? Gonna turn our dough onto the surface, and we're going to knead this for 2 to 4 minutes. So I'm looking at my clock now, and kind of what I envision is I do about 150 turns. So I'm about on, this is about 4, and it does it perfectly. 6, 7, 8, yes, I'm gonna count. We're on it so that it doesn't stick to the board. All right, guys. It is ready to go. It's nice, it's soft. And so, put a little bit more so it doesn't stick. I'm gonna take my same bowl that we mixed everything in, and I'm gonna put it over it, just like that. And we're gonna leave this for 30 minutes because I used quick rise yeast. Now, if you use just regular yeast, then it's gonna take an hour for this to double in size. But if you used quick rise yeast like I did, it should only take 30 minutes. We come back, we're gonna roll out the dough, and we're going to put the filling on the inside. And while you're waiting, you can actually go ahead and prepare the filling. So the filling is going to include coconut sugar and pumpkin pie spice. I'm gonna use maple sugar instead. I just feel like maple sugar is a little lighter. I feel like coconut sugar is a bit heavy to use on the inside as well. So we're gonna use a mix of this for the filling. So I'll go ahead and make that right now. And then I'm going to also soften some more butter and have that ready to spread on the inside, and just get your pan ready and greased and all that. And then, yeah, so I'm gonna see you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and prepare my sugar mixture, and we'll be back in 30 minutes after this rises. All right, it has been 30 minutes, and it has been over 30 minutes, so our dough has risen, so that's great. So I have my sugar mixture, which is just maple sugar, pumpkin spice, and I also like to add a bit of cinnamon in here as well. And then we have our softened butter that we're going to spread over the dough. So you just want to roll it out, and here's my method. So I just take a piece of parchment paper, I take my rolling pin, and I just roll it out like this. You need to roll it out, and you can just roll it out, you know, in like a good size rectangle. I don't have any measurements, you know, you're just kind of going at it. No measurements here. So now we're gonna go in with the butter. Where's my spatula? Okay, I'll just use a spoon. And we just want to, you want it softened, just want the butter softened, and we're just gonna go in and just cover the surface with our butter, guys. And I cut this recipe in half, so all I really needed was like 2 tablespoons of this butter, and I'm set. Right, we're good to go. So now, I'm gonna take my sugar cinnamon mixture and pumpkin pie spice mixture and just sprinkle it all over. So these are completely sugar-free pumpkin cinnamon rolls, which are great. How often do you find sugar-free cinnamon rolls? Not often, right? So That's what this channel is about, giving you options, you know, changing up, making your favorite foods, but healthier, right? Okay, so I always like to add a little bit of extra cinnamon, a little bit of extra pumpkin pie spice. My mom is a huge fan of cinnamon, so every time I make cinnamon rolls, she always demands that I put extra cinnamon on the rolls because she's just a big lover of cinnamon, and I am too. So I'm just gonna do that. I'm just gonna roll. I just roll and tuck, roll and tuck, roll and tuck, roll and tuck. You just want it as tight as possible so that you'll have like a nice roll. Okay, what I'm gonna do is cut them. So I like to cut off the very ends, and I'll just save that. We're gonna use it, don't worry. Waste not, want not. We're not gonna let anything go to waste. So I'm just gonna, it's okay. So that's kind of how many I want. So I'm just kind of just seeing which I want. So these are gonna be super tall. So like, there we go. I kind of pre-measured, but I'm gonna kind of go with my own. See that? Put it in there. One. And so I'm just gonna leave this by the oven, leave it, clean up, and we'll be back once they double in size, and we'll put them in the oven. I'm gonna preheat my oven when it's close to the time, to 375, and we'll be back, and we'll eat some cinnamon rolls after we frost them in it. All right, guys, I actually let mine sit for about 2 hours. Got my oven preheated. I just find that they need a little bit longer on the second rise. So I did let mine sit for about 2 hours. I went and ran some errands, ran to Target and everything. So now we're gonna put them in the oven. And there we go. They've risen nice and everything. And I'm gonna set the timer for 22 minutes. All right. Absolutely beautiful, and I'm going to be giving some of these to family members because I can't eat it all. I've been testing this recipe over and over to kind of see how I could tweak it and make it a little better, and so I can't eat all of these. But guys, it is time for the taste test. Now, I'm not one of those people who eat their cinnamon roll with a fork, but for the sake of like the video, I wanted to cut into it and kind of show the fluffiness and everything. So I did kind of cut into it with a fork, but I am not, usually I'm not that proper. I eat my cinnamon rolls with a fork, but today, why not? Guys, okay, I'm putting the fork away, and now I'm just gonna go at it. I'm gonna get my hands dirty. Guys, look at this, look. I want you to see the beauty. Oh, like, look at that. Just the fluffiness. Alright. Guys, definitely should make these. Make them. That's all I gotta say. Okay? This recipe has been tried and true and tested. I'll see you guys again very soon. Make these, let me know how you like them. Everything will be in the description box, as I've said 3 times. Try these out. Make them for your family and friends as I have made them. And subscribe, that's all you gotta do. And I'll see you guys again very soon. I'm also gonna try to make these oil free. If I am successful, I will put the information down below for a whole food plant-based version of these as well. And I'll see you guys again very soon. Bye.